one of the biggest challenges and one of the biggest things that will ultimately determine your growth and your future and your profitability and your stress level, which is bringing on other people. And that's what I want to touch on today. I want to get into a discussion around that. You're only as good as your team. And your team is a reflection of you. So if you're only as good as your team and your team's a reflection of you, then it's important to be very clear in determining, well, what reflection are you giving them? What does it take in order to prepare yourself to bring in the person that you want to bring? In order to hire the ideal candidates to your practice, you got to look, you got to understand how to attract them, qualify them, onboard them, and train them. So if you've been out to the workshop in the last couple of months, we went through this exercise called the ideal client strategy, or the VIP strategy, of really identifying who your ideal client is. So as it was discussed in the previous workshop, someone said, well, isn't this the same thing as hiring somebody? And the answer is absolutely. So before you even start your marketing, you got to identify who is your ideal client, who is your ideal patient, who is your target audience. Because if you just immediately start in reacting to, hey, let's try this, let's try this, let's try this, you're going to learn the hard way and the expensive way of how that most likely will not work, and it won't work long term. It's the same thing with hiring. There's two things we never do in our business. We never stop marketing and generating referrals, and we never stop looking for great talent, great potential team members. Because if you're doing the first one, you're always growing. And if you're doing the second one, you're always bringing on great people. So those are two things you never, ever want to do. So as most owners, not of course Lighthouse leaders, but as most owners go, we hire too many times out of desperation. So somebody leaves, oh my God, and we're out of racing to fill their position. This reaction, this knee-jerk reaction, leads to irrational hiring decisions that can cause problems days or weeks or even months later. That's costing thousands and tens of thousands of dollars, and who knows how many hours of time and effort and exhaustion and stress. Not to mention, bringing in the wrong person can leave your team, can really cause a problem with your team, right? The culture of your team, the fit of your team. And then, of course, we know what happens when you start bringing in the right people, because some of you are dealing with this right now, how quickly that can change the energy and the culture of your team.